fucking damn it. Ugh. No, I'm pretty sure I don't actually have coronavirus. I think I just have a flu. There's only one confirmed case in my city. However, when I asked on Twitter, all of you said that I probably have coronavirus. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the confidence. But that doesn't mean that coronavirus hasn't gone ham everywhere else. I mean, look at these numbers, dude. By the way, China's been hovering around 80,000 for the past week or so. There's no way that's the real number. I think China's just stopped reporting. America's over 1,000. Italy and Iran are new major epicenters. Also, for some reason, Canada's been removed from the list. Uh-oh. God damn it. The question I've been asking is, how did it get to my city? Well, in this City News article, City News being a Canadian outlet, they state that the local coronavirus case is likely not due to an inter-community spread. The article states the man attended a convention by Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada in Toronto on March 2nd and 3rd. You know who else is at that convention? Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And it just so happens that Justin Trudeau's wife also has it. Justin Trudeau has so far refused to get tested, but he is staying in quarantine along with his wife anyway. Prior to the Prospectors Conference, Trudeau was at an international meeting, including both Trump and Brazil President Bolsonaro, who has also tested positive for coronavirus. A Brazilian spokesperson at that meeting also met with Trump a few days later at Mar-a-Lago, and he has coronavirus too. Also present was Trump's daughter Ivanka, who during another meeting met with somebody from Australia who also now has coronavirus. It really seems like coronavirus is buzzing around the Trump family, but they don't actually seem to have it. I mean, at the same time, they might have it. You know, to be honest, at this point, they probably have it. Trump is avoiding getting tested, presumably because of his own ego. But wouldn't it be hilarious that the Trump family had something in them genetically that made them asymptomatic carriers of the disease? And they were just spreading it to every world leader they come across. This is how Trump drains the swamp, guys, using biological warfare. But look at these assholes who want Trump to get it. Please test positive. Lady, you look old enough that you could die from it yourself. Stay strong, Corona. We got him. Yeah, doing it legally didn't work out. So now you have to resort to hoping he dies. Weren't you guys the same ones complaining about people talking about Bernie's heart attack? Or Biden's obvious dementia? First time I've had the thought, hope those guys just had an orgy. That sounds like it's terribly homophobic, doesn't it? It's not just them, though. The UK's health minister, Nadine Dorries, has tested positive for coronavirus. Tom Hanks has coronavirus. Oh, life really is like a box of chocolates. The NBA's Rudy Gobert jokingly touched reporters' mics before he got his own coronavirus diagnosis. Man, look at this galaxy brain. Yeah, this is the reason why the NBA season has been suspended, guys. Good job, dude. Well, if we're cheering Trump to be taken by Corona-chan, maybe the rest of us who actually see the rot in mainstream journalism can laugh a little bit at this. Person who attended journalism conference tests positive. Write me a story about it. And of course, the funniest thing of all, Islamic scholar who said coronavirus was Allah's punishment gets the coronavirus. I guess this is what you get, though, when you live in a society where traditional Islamic medicine dictates that the local imam spit in all of your water and then you drink it in order for you to actually be cured. I don't know if you guys have figured it out yet, but Iran is basically collapsing before our very eyes due to coronavirus. And it's definitely because of people like this. Currently trending as I make this video is the hashtag panic buying. Panic buying seems to be happening everywhere now. I think I might have said a month or two ago, get all of your prep done early. Panic buying has in fact come to my city, and I am very grateful that I managed to stock up on all the things that I needed a long time ago. But now, though, the best thing you could do is avoid going out. Not necessarily because of the spread of the virus, but because you might actually get caught in a situation where someone punches you over trying to get the last thing at the store. Trust me, it happens, guys. I'll show you in a minute. Or getting robbed on your way home from the store, or maybe get stuck in a stampede of people who are running around the store. Like, now is not the time to be out and about. We are in the panic phase of things, and panic can kill more people than the virus can. Here's that video I was talking about. This is from the UK. People are fighting over the last rolls of toilet paper.
Hey, stop! That's enough!
Are you joking? Are you looking fucking joking? Just met my daughter. I didn't swear that. She hit me. I didn't touch you. I took the bag. You came and hit me. You touched the bag. I took the bag. You fucking came and hit me. It's me. Go away from my daughter.
Man, I don't know why the fuck you need that much toilet paper to begin with. Coronavirus doesn't cause diarrhea or anything. What are you guys doing? Like, I get it, it's a virus. You want to clean surfaces and stuff. Fair enough. You want to wash your hands. But right now, what keeps you from getting it isn't disinfecting everything. It's not going outside. And if you can't not go outside, well, then you have to basically get it. There is no quarantine for this thing. You're likely going to get infected, and it's likely not going to be a big deal. Okay? What you need is food, not toilet paper. I don't understand. Like, what are you guys doing? That's enough toilet paper for like a year. Do you think society's actually collapsing? And of course, just like people selling food during a siege, you get guys like this. 16 new toilet paper rolls in the bag. Picture is of Del Rage. Walmart is sold out. Make me an offer. I will sell individual rolls, cash only. Man, just think, if you actually have no toilet paper and it's seriously gone for some reason, use like a face cloth and just wash it. It's gonna be gross, but you want to spend hundreds of dollars on one roll? This is stupid. And then we gotta admire the balls on this guy. Cheeky boy makes £9 charging kids to use his hand sanitizer, but the school isn't impressed. But not to worry, this guy's got you covered. Yeah, seriously, this guy walks around as a portable hand sanitizer. Imagine this being your job. Since we're already laughing, let's take a look at some of the dumber news that's come out of this. LGBTQ people at heightened risk from coronavirus. Warn advocacy groups. You know, not everything has to be about your fucking advocacy. I'm sure you would say this about anything that came along. I don't care what the advocacy groups say, what do the doctors say about it? This is from a Japanese source. Police launch probe into man who wanted to spread the virus. We do in fact have people who are now dedicated spreaders. What the fuck? In Italy, those dedicated spreaders will face murder charges. To be honest, that sounds good to me. Now, just yesterday, I think, Trump announced travel bans for the United States to Europe and other hotspot places. That doesn't seem like it would actually do much, considering that the virus is already in the States on the ground. But at the very least, you could say there was an attempt made. 2 weeks ago, meanwhile, Canada said that they will not ban any flights whatsoever. The borders are still open here. Thanks, Trudeau. And I know that this article was published on February 29th. But guys, there's been no new news on this. Even as Justin Trudeau's own wife gets sick with it, the Liberals have not changed their policy. And of course, I guess the hot new thing is breaking containment to own the Drumpfler. Dear Europeans, you can fly to Canada and walk across into the US. Sorry, the orange idiot has blamed you for something that isn't your fault. He's not blaming Europeans. He's enacting a quarantine for everyone's own good. You're an idiot. Many places beyond the NBA have shut down for the time being. Social gatherings were stopped, with the exception of Disney World for some reason. I guess Disney has special privileges, until there was enough outcry that Disney World was also closed. Also the massive Smurf rally in France. French mayor defends holding the massive Smurf rally despite the coronavirus spread. We must not stop living. Is this the hill you want to die on? Do you really want your family and friends to discover your body dressed up as a fucking Smurf? A lot of travel has stopped. Companies are saying don't come in. Like Twitter. Twitter told its 5,000 employees to work from home. E3 was also cancelled. But check out how this article over at VentureBeat frames it. E3 cancelled as game industry capitulates to coronavirus. And of course it was written by Dean Takahashi. He knows all about capitulating to video games. GDC was cancelled this year, and everyone's favorite grifter, Anita Sarkeesian, is shilling the GDC Financial Relief Fund, so that all of those trust fund hipsters who have turned indie dev can get paid for not attending a conference. Pornhub has decided to give Italians free premium access. Alright, dude. Maybe it's time for us to move to Italy after all, boys. But the worst news of all comes out of Canada again, where Tim Hortons has decided to scrap its annual, highly popular, immensely successful roll-up-the-rim cups over coronavirus concerns. And then you just get weird shit like this. Should I pause my open marriage because of the coronavirus? My mother is immunocompromised. She's not part of your open marriage, is she? Hands off. Sex parties and the spread of the coronavirus. You know, guys, not everything has to be about your sexual deviancy. I know I said this with the LGBTQ article, but it's getting crazy, isn't it? If you're a journalist and all you write are articles linking whatever hot topic of the day back to all the sex that you have, maybe you should reconsider your life. YouTube's been especially draconian regarding the demonetization of coronavirus videos. I highly doubt this video is going to be monetized, so please consider supporting the channel through one of the many means that I have in the description. Thank you very much. Hey, here's something that hasn't aged well. Ramblin' Joe Biden calling President Trump's initial response to the coronavirus hysterical xenophobia.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Yeah, have you noticed how that angle's pretty much disappeared? A month ago or 2 months ago, if you were stocking up on supplies, people called you a bigot. You were racist, you hated Chinese people. Eat the bat soup, shitlord. But no one's saying that shit now. I don't get it, man. It's like they're actually mocking it. It's like these guys take pride in being ignorant. They're actually mocking the idea of being prepared for a disaster. And to top it off, Egyptian TV interviewed the coronavirus. No, really, this happened on TV. They got a guy to dress up as, I guess, the impersonation, the embodification of the coronavirus, and they interviewed him. I wish I understood. I wish I understood anything anymore. Like, am I just too old to get it? What the fuck is happening? What do you think? Just asking the coronavirus nicely to go away, you think that's gonna work? Okay, we're now going to start on some of the doomer news. This guy, Li Jianxiao, he's a spokesperson for China in the West. And he decided to blame the United States for the whole thing. It might be the US Army that brought the epidemic to Wuhan. No, it was the fact that your countrymen were eating animals with infectious diseases that you probably shouldn't be eating in the first place. I don't care what you say, it is not racist to call this the Wuhan flu. It is not racist to say this is originated from China. That's how it is. Also, apparently, China bought time for the world. China didn't buy time for anyone, dude. China tried to suppress it for 2 months. This thing, did you guys know this thing started in December? I think it might have even been the end of November. But no one was really listening until January. And the mainstream media didn't take it seriously until a couple weeks ago. Up till then, they were calling everybody who was making preparations crazy. No, dude. It was Chinese communist centrality and all of the various bureaucrats who didn't want their heads to roll. That's why your response was so slow, and why your initial response was to cover it up. Let's be honest here, guys. We really need to move our manufacturing centers out of China. They make the medical equipment that we're using to fight this drug. They make the drugs that we're using in a lot of cases. And yeah, it might be cheaper for corporations to do it there, but look what's happened. Look what happens if the diplomatic situation between the US and China boils over. We will have to rebuild a manufacturing base here in the West in order to even have the equipment we need to fight the virus. Globalist corporatism has led us down a path where we're actually reliant on authoritarian regimes for our everyday stuff, and that has to change. Here we go. Devastating news. Conversation between my friend and an Italian doctor. It's war. We can't even try to save them all. No one over 60 even gets full care. Every doctor is likely sick, everyone coughs, no time to test them. There's no other critical care, only this. There are many dead. 30% of the dead are ages 30 to 60. This sounds a lot like what we heard leaked from China, where things were much worse than the government was willing to let on there. It seems like the same situation's happening. It seems like the same situation's happening in Italy, where it's much worse there than people are saying as well. How is the situation? Tragic. Too many lies. Hundreds of deaths. So the public is not correctly informed. What is the average age of the dead? We stop intubating people over 60. We leave them to die. 30% of patients are 30 to 60 years old. We have no more ventilators. 600 are intubated in Milan. We have been asked to choose who have a chance and leave to die the others. 50 patients a night requires intubation in one hospital. This is the truth. They respond to intubation and pronation. Unfortunately, we cannot intubate 3 million people. Several colleagues are infected. Swaps and gloves do not protect enough if you have 50 patients. We have finished masks, and we only have 30 swaps in one hospital. All of us are probably positive we all have the cough. It is impossible to stop the progression of the pandemic. Shops, schools, restaurants, pubs, cinemas, theaters are all closed. Operating rooms have been transformed into ICUs. We have stopped surgeries and other medical procedures. We are in a war every day. We live in the hospital to try and stop this tsunami, but it keeps on growing. Pray that you don't have to face what we are. We have no more space for corpses. The numbers are fake. How is it possible to have 1,000 patients in Germany and only 2 deaths? It's lies. Don't use my names. We're not allowed to tell anything. It's forbidden. But tell the truth. In case that didn't chill your blood, here's Angela Merkel saying that she expects 70% of all Germans to catch coronavirus.
Weiter muss man verstehen, wenn das Virus da ist und noch keine Immunität der Bevölkerung gegenüber diesem Virus vorliegt, keine Impfmöglichkeiten existieren, auch noch keine Therapiemöglichkeiten, dass dann ein hoher Prozentsatz, Experten sagen 60-70% der Bevölkerung infiziert werden, solange dieser Zustand so bleibt. Und deshalb wird ja auch, darauf komme ich noch, so intensiv an Therapiemöglichkeiten und Impfstoffen gearbeitet.
As Iran collapses around him, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has labeled the coronavirus as a biological weapon. Who knows? He might not be far off. China has begun cremating people alive. If they are critically ill and cannot be saved, they're sealed up in bags while still breathing and sent for cremation.
A Wuhan hospital is sending coronavirus patients for cremation while they're still alive. That's according to a woman in a video that's circulating on social media. Speaking in a Wuhan dialect, the woman describes how she witnessed the patient next door being sealed up in body bags. This video could not be independently verified.
这一回去还没灭，那手就他疼他的头的时候，
还在动，
他是就是还在动，那个就是就捆了之后呢，就一个塑料的拿那个袋子，一个盒袋子，就你妈一包了之后拿进一拉。
She goes on to say the man was wrapped in 4 body bags and then put into a box-like device. The man was in his 70s and critically ill. He was in room number 18, the ward next door to her.
我那活人就能拿到去烧啊！
烧啊的，他走去烧啥子？我跟你讲嘛。
The woman says she witnessed several cases. She says another old man in the hospital was also cremated before he passed away.
太惨了，关键是你是活人，你妈去救他。
我要救啊！他我救来，有我的药，有我的物资，我这个羊是活人，我是救。我们的资源，我今年真是想到寒心呐！那真是这个自己我
After the patients are sent away in the box-like device, the woman says doctors then tell the patients' relatives that their loved ones have passed away. She didn't clarify what the box-like device is. Reporting by Juliet Song, NTD News, New York.
Holy shit. Man, if your location's already been overrun, like if you're in Italy or something, or I guess in China, and you feel like you have it, just stay the fuck home. You might have higher chances of survival at that point. It's almost like the hospitals are turning into giant incubators themselves, let alone shit like this. I know recently both a hotel and a hospital where coronavirus patients were quarantined have both been falling apart, with the hotel actually collapsing. You know, I was willing to just chalk that up to really terrible Chinese standards, but if they're actually cremating people while they're still alive, Jesus. Who knows at this point? Doctors keep dying in Wuhan and Beijing is still trying to silence them. We've come full circle on it. When the virus started, the government silenced it. As the virus progressed, they tried to put their own positive spin on it. And now we're just back to shutting everything down. There is no way that China's official number of 80,000 cases, which has been static for like 2 weeks now, is anywhere near accurate anymore. China's just decided to stop reporting. And they're silencing everyone who actually wants to talk about the truth. A person working at the UK's NHS believes that they will run out of intensive care beds in 2 weeks if things in the UK get as bad as they are in Italy. And the UK's plan right now is to... I can't believe I'm saying this. Let people get infected so that the entire nation acquires herd immunity. Now, on the realistic side of things, this might work. And additionally, it's also probably unavoidable at this point. But I don't know if that's what you want to hear from a government official. And finally, Iran has been digging mass graves. There was actually a post on Twitter. I can't find it now, unfortunately. But the guy was talking about how he watched his uncle, I think, get buried in one of these mass graves from 100 meters away by men in hazmat suits. He wasn't allowed to get any closer. But the coronavirus mass graves in Iran are so huge they can now be seen from space. And of course, there's no way the 429 death toll is the real deal. Look at these things, dude. Just giant trenches are being built that can be seen from satellite. Crazy. If you are lucky enough to live in an area that is not currently experiencing panic buying, go and get enough food to last for like a month right now before the panic sets in. However, at this point, I think most places in at least the Western world, most places that would be listening to me, it's already happened. The panic buying has already setting in. Don't get toilet paper. It's a waste of your money. Don't get disinfectant any more than you need anyway. But like, you don't need to stock up on that stuff. Stock up on food. Food is what you need now, because you might be in a situation where you can't leave the house for another month while this whole thing blows over, and you want to have food in your kitchen ready to go. But most of us, we have passed that point now. Now is the point to stay calm and stay indoors if possible. If you think you might have coronavirus and your local medical apparatus has not yet been bogged down, the best thing for you to do is probably to head over to the hospital, get yourself tested. However, if there's like thousands of cases in your city and things are already fucked, honestly, it's a 50-50 shot at that point. It might be better just to stay home. I mean, don't take medical advice from me. I'm just an otaku on the internet. But you know, if there's riots in the streets and things are on fire and police and ambulances are running around everywhere, people are going nuts. Even if you have coronavirus, just stay inside, dude. Have some chicken noodle soup and hope you survive. And don't worry, you will survive. The death rate is still 3.7%. If you're young, you eat healthy, have like a healthy lifestyle, you'll get through this. But now is the time to stay indoors. Start cooking up all those rice and beans that hopefully you've bought up on my suggestion. And the best thing you could do is stay here and watch all those YouTube videos that I've put out 10 times over, just so I could get more ad revenue. That's the way to do it. That's how you beat coronavirus. Fucking China.